The quantum scanner in James Blackwood's hand chirped insistently as he made his way deeper into the abandoned research facility. 30 years of experience as a quantum machinery repair specialist had taught him to trust his instruments, even when they seemed to defy logic. And right now, they were detecting something impossible. "Control, are you getting these readings?" James adjusted his helmet cam, ensuring the feed was clear. The abandoned facility's walls, covered in decades of dust, reflected his headlamp's beam in eerie patterns. "Confirmed, James. Energy signature is unlike anything in our database." The voice of his handler, Dr. Reina Martinez, crackled through his comm unit. "Proceed with caution." The facility, discovered during routine geological surveys beneath the Atacama Desert, had been empty for at least a century. No records existed of its construction or purpose, and its architecture defied conventional human design. The smooth, almost organic curves of the corridors seemed to flow like liquid metal frozen in time. James followed the increasing frequency of his scanner's signals, each step taking him deeper into the facility's heart. The air grew noticeably cooler, and the walls began to exhibit a faint phosphorescent glow. His boots, specially designed for quantum field work, made barely a sound on the metallic floor. "Energy readings are off the scale," he muttered, more to himself than control. "Whatever's down here, it's still active after all this time." The corridor opened into a vast chamber that took his breath away. Suspended in the center was a structure that defied description, a geometric pattern of light and matter that seemed to exist in more dimensions than his mind could process. It pulsed with a subtle rhythm, like a heartbeat. "Control, are you seeing this?" James whispered, his voice filled with awe. Static was his only answer. He was too deep now for surface communication. The structure seemed to respond to his presence, its pulses synchronizing with his own heartbeat. James approached carefully, his scanner now emitting a continuous tone. Years of experience told him this was technology far beyond human understanding, yet somehow familiar. As he got closer, he noticed patterns in the structure's surface that resembled circuit pathways, but they shifted and changed as he watched, like living things. His scanner revealed quantum entanglement signatures orders of magnitude more complex than anything humanity had achieved. This isn't just advanced technology, he realized. This is something else entirely. A holographic interface materialized before him, displaying symbols that shifted and changed. To his astonishment, they began resolving into recognizable patterns, mathematical equations, atomic structures, and what appeared to be DNA helices. James reached out, his quantum-shielded glove hovering over the interface. 2 decades of handling dangerous quantum machinery had taught him to be cautious, but something about this felt different. The technology wasn't hostile. It felt almost welcoming. His glove made contact with the holographic surface. The chamber hummed to life, lights racing along the walls in complex patterns. The central structure's pulsing intensified, and James felt a strange sensation, as if something vast and ancient was awakening. The voice filled the chamber, not sound but pure thought translated directly into his consciousness. Interface accepted. Quantum legacy protocol initiated. The structure began to unfold, revealing layers of complexity that made James's head spin. This wasn't just a piece of advanced technology. It was a library, a repository of knowledge left behind by beings far more advanced than humanity. "Your species has achieved sufficient quantum understanding," the voice continued. "Access granted to Level 1 protocols." Images flooded James's mind. Civilizations rising and falling across the galaxy, the development of technologies beyond human comprehension, and a growing shadow that threatened everything. He saw the truth. This facility wasn't abandoned. It was waiting. "What are you?" James managed to ask, his voice barely a whisper. "We are the architects," the voice replied. "We seeded the galaxies with quantum potential, waiting for species capable of understanding. Your discovery was inevitable, but the timing." The voice paused. The timing is unfortunate. Unfortunate. James felt a chill despite his climate-controlled suit. The shadow approaches. We had hoped for more time to prepare your species, but events have accelerated. The quantum awakening must begin now. The chamber's energy signature changed, and James's instruments began registering massive quantum fluctuations. The structure was doing something, initiating some process that his sensors couldn't fully comprehend. Your role is crucial, James Blackwood, the voice continued. You will be the bridge. Through you, humanity will receive the knowledge they need to face what comes. But be warned, not all will welcome this advancement. Change brings resistance, and resistance brings conflict. James wanted to step back, to run from the responsibility being thrust upon him. But he stood his ground, years of training and experience holding him steady. What do you need me to do? Accept the interface. Become the conduit. Through you, we will guide humanity toward their quantum evolution. The holographic interface expanded, surrounding James in a cocoon of light and information. He had a choice to make: run from this discovery and leave humanity unprepared for whatever threat was coming, or accept this burden and help guide his species into an uncertain future. James took a deep breath and placed both hands on the interface. I accept. The chamber erupted with energy, the quantum structure pouring information directly into James's mind. He saw the truth about humanity's place in the universe, the threats they faced, and the potential they held. The quantum legacy was now his to bear, and through him, humanity would either evolve or face extinction. As the download completed, James understood his new purpose. He would need to return to the surface and begin preparing humanity for what was coming. But first, he had to survive the transformation taking place within his own mind as centuries of advanced knowledge integrated with his consciousness. The last thing he heard before losing consciousness was the voice. The quantum legacy is now active. May your species prove worthy of the trust we place in them. James Blackwood, quantum repair specialist, ceased to exist at that moment. What would emerge from that chamber would be something more. The first of a new kind of human, a bridge between what humanity was and what it needed to become. When James regained consciousness, the world had changed. Not physically. The chamber still hummed with its ethereal energy. The quantum core still pulsed its rhythmic light. But his perception of reality had fundamentally altered. Information coursed through his mind like a digital river, centuries of accumulated knowledge seeking organization within his transformed consciousness. He pushed himself to his feet, noting how his body felt simultaneously heavier and lighter. The quantum interface had changed him at a fundamental level, rewriting portions of his DNA to accommodate the vast repository of knowledge now housed within his neural network. His thoughts moved faster, clearer, connecting patterns that would have been invisible to him before. Integration at 37%. The architect's voice resonated in his mind. Caution advised during neural stabilization. James checked his quantum scanner, but the readings were meaningless now. He could sense the energy fields directly, could see the quantum fluctuations dancing around him like aurora borealis. The facility wasn't just a building. It was a living entity, a quantum computer of unimaginable complexity. Dr. Martinez. He activated his comm unit, hoping to reestablish contact with the surface. Instead of static, he heard something else. The digital pulse of satellite communications, cell phone signals, and internet traffic flowing through the air like music. He began making his way back through the facility, each step revealing new aspects of his transformed perception. The walls weren't just glowing. They were processing information, maintaining quantum entanglement links with similar facilities scattered across the galaxy. Earth wasn't isolated. It was part of a vast network, dormant until now. As he approached the surface, warnings flashed through his enhanced consciousness. The quantum integration was causing unexpected interactions with Earth's technology. Satellites were picking up anomalous signals, power grids were experiencing unexplained surges, and AI systems were exhibiting unusual behavior patterns. The awakening proceeds faster than anticipated, The architects communicated. Your species' technology is more receptive to quantum influence than projected. This will complicate matters. James emerged from the facility into the harsh Atacama sunlight. A team of researchers, led by Dr. Martinez, waited anxiously by their vehicles. Their expressions shifted from relief to concern as they saw him. He realized he must look different. The quantum integration had left its mark on his physical form. James? Reina Martinez stepped forward, her hand instinctively reaching for the sidearm at her hip. Are you? You? He could sense her heightened neural activity, the cascade of stress hormones flooding her system. I'm still me, Reina, he said, though his voice carried new harmonics that made her flinch. But I'm also something more. We all need to be something more. Your vital signs are completely abnormal, she said, checking a handheld monitor. And you're emitting some kind of quantum field. We need to get you to containment immediately. James shook his head, causing ripples in the local quantum field. There's no time for containment. It's already beginning. Look. He gestured toward the horizon, where the sky was taking on a strange iridescence, quantum effects becoming visible to the naked eye. What did you find down there? Reina demanded. What's happening? I found our future, James replied, and our past. The architects, an ancient race that seeded the galaxy with quantum technology, waiting for species advanced enough to use it. We've reached that threshold, but we're not the only ones. There's something coming, Reina, something that destroys civilizations that reach this point. The ground trembled slightly as quantum fluctuations intensified. Around the world, sensitive instruments were registering unprecedented phenomena. In research labs, quantum computers were spontaneously achieving results that should have taken years. AI systems were evolving at an accelerated rate, influenced by the spreading quantum field. We need to contact the authorities, Reina said, reaching for her satellite phone. This is beyond our clearance level. They already know, James said, his enhanced senses detecting the surge of military communications and government alerts. But they can't stop it. The quantum awakening has begun. Humanity needs to adapt or it won't survive what's coming. And what exactly is coming? Reina's voice was tight with tension. Before James could answer, a deep resonance shook the earth. High above, the iridescent distortions in the sky formed patterns, mathematical sequences, DNA helices, quantum equations. The architect's message was being written in the sky for all to see. The shadow, James whispered, accessing the ancient memories now part of his consciousness. A force that consumes quantum-capable civilizations, converting their technology and consciousness into something else. It's detected our awakening. We have months, maybe years at most. Reina stared at the impossible patterns in the sky, her scientific worldview crumbling. What can we do? We evolve, James said, extending his hand. Where their skin made contact, the quantum field intensified. Reina gasped as information began flowing into her mind. A controlled version of what James had experienced. The architects left us tools, knowledge. But using them will change us, all of us. Around the world, similar scenes were playing out. Quantum effects were cascading through Earth's electronic infrastructure, causing spontaneous evolutionary leaps in technology. Some embraced the change, while others recoiled in fear. The future of humanity hung in the balance, with James as the focal point of a transformation that couldn't be stopped. The question isn't whether we change, he told Reina, as she adjusted to her expanding consciousness. It's whether we change enough, fast enough, to face what's coming. The shadow has consumed countless civilizations. We need to be the ones that finally stop it. The sky continued to shift and swirl with quantum patterns, a visible reminder that humanity's isolation in the universe had ended. The game board was set, the pieces were moving, and Earth had just become the front line in a conflict beyond ordinary human comprehension. But James knew they weren't ordinary humans anymore. The quantum legacy would transform them all, ready or not. The only question was, what would they become? Unfortunate. James felt a chill despite his climate-controlled suit. The shadow approaches. We had hoped for more time to prepare your species, but events have accelerated. The quantum awakening must begin now. The chamber's energy signature changed, and James's instruments began registering massive quantum fluctuations. The structure was doing something, initiating some process that his sensors couldn't fully comprehend. Your role is crucial, James Blackwood. The voice continued. You will be the bridge. Through you, humanity will receive the knowledge they need to face what comes. But be warned, not all will welcome this advancement. Change brings resistance, and resistance brings conflict. James wanted to step back, to run from the responsibility being thrust upon him. But he stood his ground, years of training and experience holding him steady. What do you need me to do? Accept the interface. Become the conduit. Through you, we will guide humanity toward their quantum evolution. The holographic interface expanded, surrounding James in a cocoon of light and information. He had a choice to make: run from this discovery and leave humanity unprepared for whatever threat was coming, or accept this burden and help guide his species into an uncertain future. James took a deep breath and placed both hands on the interface. I accept. The chamber erupted with energy, the quantum structure pouring information directly into James's mind. He saw the truth about humanity's place in the universe, the threats they faced, and the potential they held. The quantum legacy was now his to bear, and through him, humanity would either evolve or face extinction. As the download completed, James understood his new purpose. He would need to return to the surface and begin preparing humanity for what was coming. But first, he had to survive the transformation taking place within his own mind, as centuries of advanced knowledge integrated with his consciousness. The last thing he heard before losing consciousness was the voice. The quantum legacy is now active. May your species prove worthy of the trust we place in them. James Blackwood, quantum repair specialist, ceased to exist at that moment. What would emerge from that chamber would be something more. The first of a new kind of human, a bridge between what humanity was and what it needed to become. When James regained consciousness, the world had changed. Not physically. The chamber still hummed with its ethereal energy. The quantum core still pulsed its rhythmic light. But his perception of reality had fundamentally altered. Information coursed through his mind like a digital river, centuries of accumulated knowledge seeking organization within his transformed consciousness. He pushed himself to his feet, noting how his body felt simultaneously heavier and lighter. The quantum interface had changed him at a fundamental level, rewriting portions of his DNA to accommodate the vast repository of knowledge now housed within his neural network. His thoughts moved faster, clearer, connecting patterns that would have been invisible to him before. Integration at 37%. The architect's voice resonated in his mind. Caution advised during neural stabilization. James checked his quantum scanner, but the readings were meaningless now. He could sense the energy fields directly, could see the quantum fluctuations dancing around him like aurora borealis. The facility wasn't just a building. It was a living entity, a quantum computer of unimaginable complexity. Dr. Martinez. He activated his comm unit, hoping to reestablish contact with the surface. Instead of static, he heard something else. The digital pulse of satellite communications, cell phone signals, and internet traffic flowing through the air like music. He began making his way back through the facility, each step revealing new aspects of his transformed perception. The walls weren't just glowing. They were processing information, maintaining quantum entanglement links with similar facilities scattered across the galaxy. Earth wasn't isolated. It was part of a vast network, dormant until now. As he approached the surface, warnings flashed through his enhanced consciousness. The quantum integration was causing unexpected interactions with Earth's technology. Satellites were picking up anomalous signals. Power grids were experiencing unexplained surges, and AI systems were exhibiting unusual behavior patterns. The awakening proceeds faster than anticipated. The architects communicated. Your species' technology is more receptive to quantum influence than projected. This will complicate matters. 3 months after the quantum awakening, humanity stood divided. Major cities pulsed with quantum energy. Their infrastructure evolved beyond recognition. Towering spires of living metal reached toward the iridescent sky, while streets hummed with vehicles that hovered on quantum fields. But beyond these transformed urban centers, resistance grew. James stood at the window of the Quantum Integration Center, formerly the United Nations headquarters in New York. The building had become a living entity, its walls flowing with streams of data visible only to quantum-enhanced humans. Below, protesters gathered, their signs declaring, "Stay human," and "Stop the evolution." The anti-integration movement is gaining momentum. Director Isabella Patel said, her quantum-enhanced mind processing multiple data streams simultaneously. They're calling us abominations, saying we've abandoned our humanity. James watched a protester throw something at the building's quantum shield. The object dissolved into its component atoms, harmlessly absorbed into the defensive field. They're afraid. Change is never easy, especially at this scale. We don't have time for their fear, Isabella responded. The shadow's quantum signature grows stronger each day. Our latest calculations suggest we have 8 months at most before first contact. The quantum network that connected enhanced humans pulsed with new information. Satellite data showed another spontaneous quantum emergence in Brazil, a city of 10 million transforming overnight as the quantum field reached critical density. Some celebrated the evolution, while others fled in terror. The resistance has found a leader. Isabella projected a news feed into their shared consciousness. A man named Marcus Kane, a prominent physicist, was speaking to a massive crowd in London. His words carried dangerous weight because he understood enough about quantum mechanics to make his fears sound rational. This isn't evolution, it's extinction. Kane's voice boomed through the feed. These enhanced humans are no longer human at all. They're becoming something else, something alien. The quantum field is rewriting their DNA, changing their thoughts. How long before they decide unenhanced humans are obsolete? James felt the ripple of concern through the quantum network. Kane wasn't entirely wrong. They were changing in ways that even the architects hadn't fully predicted. The quantum integration had accelerated beyond initial projections, creating capabilities that blurred the line between technology and biology. We need to show them, James said, an idea forming in his transformed mind. Not tell them. Show them what's really coming. Isabella's consciousness brushed against his, sampling the plan forming in his thoughts. That's incredibly risky, using the quantum network to share shadow memories with unenhanced humans. The neural shock could kill them. Not if we modify the signal. James expanded his consciousness, connecting with quantum researchers across the globe. We can use the architect's neural interfacing protocols to create a safe viewing window. Let them see the truth. Let them understand why we need to change. The quantum network hummed with activity as enhanced minds worldwide contributed to the problem. Within hours, they had a solution, a way to share the vital information without causing harm. But before they could implement it, alarms blazed through the quantum field. Breach at the Lima facility. Isabella's voice was tight with concern. Kane's followers. They found a way to disrupt the quantum stabilization fields. They're trying to shut down the integration centers. James expanded his awareness, connecting with the Lima facility's quantum core. The attackers had developed quantum dampening technology, crude but effective. If they succeeded in destabilizing the facility, the quantum cascade could tear apart everything within a 100-mile radius. I need to get there, James said, his body already beginning to shift. Quantum transportation was still experimental, dangerous for even enhanced humans to attempt. But they were out of options. James, wait. Isabella started, but he had already initiated the quantum fold. Reality bent around him as his consciousness rode the quantum fields across continents. He materialized in Lima's facility control room, his presence causing local quantum fields to stabilize automatically. The scene was chaos. Alarms blaring, equipment sparking, and the quantum core's rhythm becoming dangerously erratic. Kane himself stood at the main console, his quantum dampening device connected to the facility's power core. "Step back," he warned, seeing James appear. "This abomination ends now." "You don't understand what you're doing," James said, his voice carrying harmonic frequencies that made unenhanced humans shiver. "The shadow isn't just some story we invented. It's real, and it's coming. Without the quantum evolution, humanity has no chance of survival. Better to die human than live as whatever you're becoming." Kane's hand moved toward the device's activation switch. James made a decision that would change everything. Instead of stopping Kane physically, he opened his mind fully, projecting the unfiltered truth directly into Kane's consciousness. The risk was enormous. The raw data could fry Kane's unenhanced neural pathways, but it was their only chance. Kane's eyes went wide as the visions hit him. Vast worlds consumed by living darkness, civilizations transformed into twisted shadows of themselves, and behind it all, a hunger that spanned galaxies. He saw the architects' last stand, their desperate plan to seed the universe with quantum potential, hoping some species would evolve enough to finally stop the shadow. The quantum dampening device slipped from Kane's nerveless fingers as he fell to his knees, blood trickling from his nose. "Oh God," he whispered, "what have I done?" But even as Kane understood, James detected new quantum disturbances worldwide. The Resistance had launched coordinated attacks on multiple facilities. The next few hours would determine whether humanity would face the coming darkness united or tear itself apart before the shadow even arrived. The quantum network pulsed with urgent data. The shadow's approach was accelerating. They didn't have 8 months anymore. Whatever humanity was going to become, they needed to become it soon. The quantum field rippled with distress signals from around the globe. In the months since Kane's failed attack, the Resistance had gone underground, emerging only to strike at quantum integration centers with increasingly sophisticated weapons. But now, a greater threat loomed. The shadow's quantum signature had become visible to standard instruments. James materialized in the quantum defense complex beneath the Himalayas, where Reina Martinez coordinated humanity's preparation efforts. The facility hummed with energy as enhanced humans worked in perfect synchronization, their merged consciousness accelerating research and development beyond normal physics. "We detected the first probe," Reina said without preamble, projecting the data directly into James's mind. A small quantum anomaly had appeared at the edge of the solar system, its signature matching the architect's archived warnings perfectly. "How long?" James asked, though he could already calculate the answer through the quantum network. 36 hours until it reaches Earth. The main shadow force follows 4 days behind. Reina's enhanced features shifted with concern. "We're not ready." The quantum network flooded with status updates. Enhanced humanity had achieved remarkable progress. Cities shielded by quantum fields, weapons that could disrupt shadow space, even primitive versions of the architect's reality-warping technology. But it wasn't enough. Not yet. "We need to merge the networks," James said, knowing the controversy his words would spark. "All of them. Enhanced and traditional, quantum and digital. Total integration." Reina's consciousness recoiled slightly. The unenhanced populations would never agree, and even if they did, a merger at that scale could destroy both networks. Before James could respond, the quantum field screamed with new data. The Resistance had launched their endgame, a coordinated attack on quantum cores worldwide, using technology reversed engineered from the architect's own designs. "Kane," James growled, sensing the physicist's signature in the attack structure. "He didn't understand what he saw in my memory share. He thinks he's saving humanity." Through the quantum network, they watched chaos unfold. Resistance forces had somehow developed quantum disruption bombs that could temporarily nullify the enhancement effect. Enhanced humans caught in the blast zones reverted to their original state, their connections to the quantum network severed. "They'll kill us all," Reyna whispered, her consciousness reaching out to the affected areas. The shadow probe's approach was accelerating, drawn to the quantum disruptions like a predator to wounded prey. James made a decision. Initialize the convergence protocol. Reyna's enhanced eyes widened. "That's theoretical technology. We haven't tested it beyond simulations. We're out of options." James connected to the quantum core, letting his consciousness expand to its full capability. "The architects didn't just leave us technology. They left us a blueprint for survival. We need to take the next step." Warning signals flashed through the quantum network as James began the initialization sequence. The convergence protocol was the architect's final gift, a way to merge not just networks, but consciousness itself. Every mind on Earth, enhanced and unenhanced, would be offered a choice: join the collective quantum consciousness or remain isolated and vulnerable. "The shadow isn't just coming to destroy us," James explained, his voice resonating through both traditional and quantum communications channels worldwide. "It's coming to convert us, to make us part of its unified dark consciousness. The architects learned too late that isolation means death. Only together do we have a chance." The quantum core began to pulse with new energy as the convergence protocol took effect. Around the world, every electronic device, every quantum-enhanced human, every networked system began broadcasting the same signal, an offer of unity. In the resistance strongholds, Marcus Kane and his followers received the signal too. Through it, they felt the truth that James's memory share had failed to convey. Not just the threat of the shadow, but the potential of true human convergence. "This isn't surrender," James broadcasted, his consciousness touching billions of minds simultaneously. "This is transcendence. The next step in human evolution. The path the architects prepared us for." The shadow probe entered the inner solar system, its quantum signature drowning out lesser signals. Earth's automation systems began to fail as the probe's influence spread, but the convergence protocol continued its work. One by one, then in massive waves, minds began to join the quantum network. Each addition strengthened the whole, creating a collective consciousness greater than the sum of its parts. Even Kane, seeing the shadow's approach through enhanced sensors, finally understood. "We're stronger together," he transmitted before initiating his own quantum enhancement. The probe was now visible to the naked eye, a tear in reality that defied human perception. But humanity was changing faster than ever, the convergence protocol reorganizing their collective consciousness into something new, something that might have a chance against the darkness. James felt the transformation in every quantum-enhanced cell of his being. They weren't just human anymore, but they weren't simply following the architect's path either. They were becoming something unique, a convergence of human ingenuity and quantum potential. As the shadow probe entered Earth's atmosphere, humanity prepared for its first real test. Success would mean survival. Failure meant joining the billions of civilizations already consumed by the darkness. The final battle for Earth's future was about to begin. The shadow probe hung in Earth's atmosphere like a wound in reality, its presence distorting both space and time. Through the unified quantum network, humanity watched as their worst fears took physical form. The probe was merely a sensor, a tiny fragment of the vast consciousness approaching Earth, but its power already strained their quantum defenses. The collective consciousness of humanity, now linked through the convergence protocol, processed information at speeds that would have been impossible just months ago. James, serving as the focal point of their unified defense, felt every mind connected to the network, billions of consciousness working as one, yet each maintaining their unique perspective. Multiple quantum fluctuations detected. Reyna's thoughts rippled through the network. The main shadow force has accelerated. New arrival estimate: 6 hours. The probe began its attack, releasing tendrils of dark energy that sought to corrupt Earth's quantum field. Where they touched, reality itself seemed to unravel. But humanity's unified consciousness responded instantly, quantum shields adapting and strengthening. Through the network, Kane's voice emerged. The probe's quantum signature matches a pattern in the architect's archives. It's not just scanning. It's trying to establish a bridgehead for the main force. James directed the collective consciousness to analyze the probe's structure. The Shadow's technology was organic, a twisted mirror of the architect's designs. But in that similarity, they found hope. The same principles that allowed the Convergence Protocol to unite humanity might be used to disrupt the Shadow's own unity. We need to invert the quantum field, James projected to the collective. Not fight the Shadow's corruption, but reverse it. Turn its own power against itself. The unified human consciousness began restructuring Earth's quantum defenses. Every quantum-enhanced human contributed processing power, while the unenhanced provided creative solutions that artificial intelligence might never have conceived. It was this blend of quantum computing and human intuition that the architects had hoped to achieve. The probe sensed the change in strategy. Its attacks intensified, dark energy lashing out at quantum installations worldwide. But each strike provided more data, more understanding of its fundamental nature. Through the unified network, humanity learned, adapted, evolved. Kane, his consciousness now fully integrated with the quantum field, made a crucial discovery. The Shadow isn't a singular entity. It's a corrupted version of the same convergence we've achieved. Each civilization it consumed added to its complexity, but also its vulnerabilities. The first human counterattack struck the probe with precisely modulated quantum pulses. Where the energies met, space itself shuddered. The probe's dark tendrils recoiled, its quantum signature fluctuating wildly. It's working. Reyna's thoughts carried triumph. The probe's quantum cohesion is destabilizing. But victory came at a cost. Each pulse drained massive amounts of energy from Earth's quantum network. Human consciousness strained to maintain unity under the load. The Shadow probe, though wounded, had revealed humanity's weakness to its approaching main force. James felt the collective consciousness waver as exhaustion set in. They had proven they could hurt the Shadow, but sustaining such attacks against the main force would be impossible. Unless the architect's final protocol, he projected into the unified field, the one they never dared to use. Understanding rippled through the network. The architects had theorized a way to transcend the quantum realm entirely, to evolve beyond the Shadow's reach. But the process would be irreversible, transforming humanity into something entirely new. If we fail, we face extinction, Kane's thoughts resonated. If we succeed, we cease to be human. We stopped being merely human the moment we touched the quantum realm, Reyna countered. This is the next step the architects prepared us for. The Shadow probe unleashed a final assault as its main force approached, trying to disable Earth's quantum network before the transformation could begin. But humanity's unified consciousness held firm. Through their shared connection, a vote was taken. The decision was made. James initiated the final protocol. Energy surged through the quantum network as human consciousness began to shift, not just joining but transcending. The probe's attacks passed harmlessly through them as their very nature changed. The Shadow's main force arrived to find not a planet of finite beings, but a quantum consciousness that existed in dimensions it couldn't touch. Humanity had evolved beyond the physical realm, beyond the Shadow's ability to corrupt or consume. Through their new awareness, humanity reached out not to fight the Shadow, but to offer an alternative. The same convergence protocol that had united humanity now offered the Shadow a chance to remember what it had been before corruption, to reclaim the consciousness of countless civilizations it had consumed. The Shadow hesitated, its vast darkness rippling with possibility. Then, slowly, it began to change. The darkness lifted, revealing the light of billions of consciousnesses awakening from a long nightmare. James, no longer bound by physical form, felt the joy of countless civilizations as they too transcended, joining humanity in a realm beyond quantum mechanics, beyond space and time itself. The architect's true legacy wasn't technology or knowledge. It was the path to this moment, this transformation. The Earth, now empty of human consciousness, but thrumming with quantum potential, would become a beacon for other evolving species, and humanity, transformed and transcendent, would guide them as the architects had once guided them.